already done one video on this to write the idea in one way, so this is another way of doing it. So we're developing an algorithm using Python to validate some machine code. So essentially this is just validating whether a number is containing 0 or 1s, and whether it's 8 digits long. So the first thing we probably want to do is get some input. So I like to read these and do them one at a time because we can often maximize our points that way. So all this bit is just telling us the idea of what's happening. So the algorithm should prompt the user to enter an 8-bit machine code instruction. So I don't know, let's call it MC code perhaps, and we'll make that equal input, and we'll say enter instruction. So now we've got the user input into our variable MC code, short for machine code. So then we're going to use a Boolean variable. So we'll say valid equals true. So that's just setting our idea of our variable valid to be true. And then the next thing we want to do is check, there's a code comment here, we'll check the bits. So we've entered this as a string because we've not done any integers or anything else, so it's a string. So that means we've got a string hopefully of 8 bits, 8 zeros or 1s. So we're going to say 4. So 4-bit in MC code. I'll put my colon in here. So for bit in MC code, so for each bit, this is going to be if bit not in, and then we're going to put a list, and our list is going to be containing 0 and 1 as strings. So if the bit is not in this list, so if it's not a 0 or not a 1, then we're going to set our valid to be false. So we've checked the bits now. So the next thing we're going to do is check to see if the length is correct. So we can do that if the len of MC code is, we could say, not equal to 8. Then we're going to again set valid to be false. And so we've now done all the testing, so we just need to convert the valid into an output. So we can say if valid equals true, then print OK. And the other option, else, we're just going to print, I think it tells us in the question to print wrong. So we're just going to do what the question asks us to do. And so if we enter these strings, it should print wrong, otherwise OK. So we've now checked for each bit in the code to see whether it's in our list of valid ideas. If it is in there, then nothing happens here. If it's not in there, so this is if it's not in the list, then it's going to set it to false. If the length of the code is not 8, then it's going to set it to false. So if it's less than or more than 8, that's going to set that to false. And so at the end of this, we're going to end up with a Boolean variable valid, which is either true or false. And if it's true, we're going to print OK, otherwise we'll print wrong. And so that is another way of doing that question.